Thank you, everybody, for being here for the 2016 Bear Nation celebration. Give yourselves a round of applause being here tonight as we honor so many people who have done amazing work over the past year. First of all, I want to say thank you to all those who have welcomed me to the Bear family here in Conway. This is the place that I'll get to spend Saturdays and so many other days this fall and throughout the year, and I'm so looking forward to that. It's an honor to be a part of the broadcast team with Justin Acree and Monty Rowell and so many behind the scenes that make that broadcast work. Conway is it's a special place to me. My mom's from Conway. My aunt's an alumni from UCA, so this is certainly a place that I want to be, and I'm thrilled to be here, so thank you for having me. I want to bring your attention real quick as we introduce a couple of people to the number 10. 10 is an important number tonight for a couple of reasons, and especially for the first person who's going to be speaking up here in front of you tonight. You know, 10 is that unique number. Everybody does 10 of everything. It's a psychologically satisfying number, to quote the great George Carlin. The decimal system, the 10 best, the 10 commandments. It is one of those numbers that we always use as the basis for everything. And the person I'm going to introduce to you, he's been back for 10 years. He is the 10th president here at the University of Central Arkansas. Please give a warm welcome to the stage to your president, a guy who has given so much, not only to the university, but to the state of Arkansas, Tom Courtway, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. And let me just say this about him. We're thrilled that he's part of the UCA family. Chris, we're thrilled that you're part of our family now, and we're looking forward to what you have to say. And the football call with you and Justin, we're really excited. To our friends and donors that are here, we can't thank each of you enough for what you do, how you support and sustain this program, and what you do for our coaches, our student athletes, and our athletic administration, and also for this university. To the student athletes that are here in the back that are going to be honored tonight, you are great representatives of this institution. Every day we know that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, whether you're competing or whether you're going to class or just representing this institution, you do it in a great way. And we are very blessed and honored that you're student athletes at this institution. To the coaches, thank you for what you do, and I can assure you that you're appreciated. You're underpaid, but you're appreciated. That sort of goes with the territory. And to Dr. Teague and his staff, there's one thing I can say from behalf of the Board of Trustees and the administration of this institution. By any level, by any standard, we have the best athletic department and the best athletic program in the country, in my opinion. There's never been one day that I wasn't assured that we had the best program, the best coaches, student athletes, and leadership in this program. So congratulations to Dr. Teague and his staff, and all of you here. Again, thanks. And I'll close with this. I'm thrilled that tonight we're honoring Bill Stevens, someone who I knew. Coach Stevens was the athletic director at UCA when my father was the athletic director at Hendrix. So they have that bond. I've known the Stevens family for my entire life since we moved here. And also, Coach Stevens and I have another bond. We ran for political office against each other. And if you think campaigns today are what they are, you should have seen two people run that never said a bad word about each other. He left a great legacy. He was a great man. He had compassion, and he changed a lot of student athletes' lives, and he gave back to this community. So we're very grateful to honor him, and thank you. Thanks again.
If you would please direct your attention to the stage as we bring up our next guest from the UCA softball team to give the invocation. Please welcome Randy Wallace, everybody.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to say how excited I am to be back in Bear Nation and to see all of you here tonight. And with that being said, I would like to pray for tonight. So if you would all bow your heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for tonight, and we thank you for bringing everyone here safely. We thank you for bringing all of your athletes back to UCA and back to their family here. God, we thank you for all the support and encouragement from this Bear Nation. And Lord, we just thank you for everyone that has made tonight possible, God. We couldn't do it without the donors and without the sponsors and our coaches and the faculty and staff, Lord. And we just thank you for them. Lord, we ask that you are with us tonight as we celebrate all of the honors and awards that are given. And we just ask you that we can give you glory in all these awards and all these accomplishments that we receive, Lord. We just point right to you and thank you for every single one of them. God, we thank you for tonight, and we just ask that you help us to enjoy tonight and enjoy each other's company and just enjoy being back in Bear Nation and with our family here. God, we thank you for sending your son, and in your son's name we pray. Amen.
Okay, everybody, remember I said the number 10, why it's important? Our next guest up here tonight has also been here for 10 years. Under his leadership and direction, if you double the number of 10, that's how many conference titles this university has taken home in his time under that leadership and direction. Please welcome to the stage, you know him well, he is everywhere, Dr. Brad Teague, everybody, to present the GPA Award.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, good evening. Did you know that you're only going to have salad tonight? Did you know that? You actually can start eating. I've seen most people haven't started eating. Of course, Scotty Bell's already finished his, but please do eat your salad now. We will serve you dinner shortly. So we always start out our Bear Nation celebration with our academic awards, and this is no different. We will start out with our GPA awards for our teams. If our academic staff would come help me with this, and President Courtway, we have come a long way. We started 10 years ago out of Division II into Division I with a goal of achieving a 3.0 GPA for all teams, cumulative GPA for all teams. Back in Division II, our last year GPA was a 2.77, so the goal was 3.0. We eclipsed that about 4 years ago, and now we're a 3.10, 3.10 GPA. All teams. But listen to this, the women's overall GPA, 3.32. That's cumulative, everybody. 9 women's teams, 8 are above a 3.0, and the 9th team is a 2.94. Stellar work, ladies. The men aren't too shabby either. Overall GPA for the men, a 2.96. That's up from a 2.65 10 years ago. Doing very well. Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with the men's teams tonight. Although I see ladies lining up, but I bet the men will be up here soon. So for the past 4 or 5 years, this second place team has been the winner of the Team GPA Award, and that's our men's cross country team. Second place this year, guys. Still very good, 3.20. That means our first place team this year with a 3.34 GPA is our men's soccer team. Let's call Coach Ross Duncan and the men's team to the stage. Men's soccer. There you go. Thank you, men's soccer. So our women's teams, first and second place this year had a higher GPA than the winner last year. How about that? Sorry, second place though, women's golf, second place, 3.59 cumulative GPA. Good work, women's golf. So first place this year, women's tennis, 3.67. Coach Wharton, please come up. Yeah. All right, continuing with the academic theme, I'm going to welcome Scott Brizet, our director of our Academic Center for Athletics, and he's assisted by his assistant, Jamie Ashmore, and she's going to coordinate the folks lining up. Scott.
Thanks, sir. Good evening. At this time, we'll be honoring our annual inductees into the Arkansas Delta chapter of the Academic Honor Society, known as Chi Alpha Sigma, or the National College Athlete Honor Society. In order to become an inductee into this prestigious organization, student athletes must meet some of the following criteria. They must attend an accredited four-year institution in the NC2A or NAIA. They must have lettered in their sport. They must be currently a junior or a senior, and they must have obtained their junior status by their fifth semester. They must have a cumulative GPA of 3.4 or higher at the time of selection. And finally, they must be of good moral character and receive the endorsement of their head coach and the director of academic advising. Tonight, we're proud to announce we have 28 junior and senior student athletes who have met these criteria for the 2015-16 academic year. Please come forward when your name is announced to receive your certificate in recognition of your accomplishments. For the crowd, please hold your applause until all the inductees have been called. First off, Bradley Amos, men's soccer. Brandon Brokeshoulder, football. Stacia Carroll, women's soccer. John Cook, football. Michaela Custer Wilson, women's soccer. Lauren Daniel, women's track. Zach Gagler, football. Ryan Holderness, softball. Hannah Holstein, women's track. Jordan Howard, men's basketball. Anna Hughes, women's soccer. And I apologize, this one coming up. Otasaway E. Yakapalor, men's basketball. Colton Jackson, men's soccer. Cheyenne Kewen, softball. Brianna MacArthur, softball. Sarah Mayorga, women's soccer. Allie Maroney, women's soccer. Melissa Myers, softball. Megan Nash, women's volleyball. Jessica Pantuso, women's soccer. Curtis Parker, football. Tyler Reidner, men's soccer. Lane Sargison, women's track. Abigail Topham, women's track. And finally, Brianna Wisenhunt, softball. In addition to these students being inducted tonight, There are 23 student athletes who have maintained their status within Chi Alpha Sigma and who have succeeded in being in the organization for at least 2 years. Will those members who have been inducted previously please stand? And for those in the crowd, if you look around, you'll see those 23 standing. These student athletes have continued to meet and exceed the qualifications, and we celebrate their continuing academic accomplishments this evening. Congratulations to all of our members of the Chi Alpha Sigma National College Athletic Honor Society. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Scott. From academics to the Team Spirit Award. How about that? It's a new award we initiated last year that would run through the academic year of 15-16. And what we did is we have a student rewards program for all the students who attend our events. And our marketing staff and ticket staff can scan in the student ID when they attend an event. And so what we decided is that we would track all of our student athletes who are attending other events. We pride ourselves and call ourselves a family, and we are, because we support each other in their sports. And so last year we tracked to see which team supported other sports, other games, other competitions the most. Pretty neat deal. So throughout last academic year, the team who supported all of our other sports the most was the baseball team. That's right. So would a member or Coach Gum, member of the baseball team, let's get the member of the baseball team to come forward and get your megaphone. This is your trophy. It will be a traveling trophy, the megaphone. We're not sure if we're going to let you use it at the events, but you can display it in your locker room. Congrats to the baseball team. Justin?
Thank you.
Congrats. Yeah, were you a part of that?
Yeah, I tried.
Where are you from?
Pine Bluff.
Pine Bluff. That's
Yes,
great.
sir. Thank you very much.
Justin McCarty from Pine Bluff.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to bring up some coaches this evening to talk about their season, talk about what they're looking forward to leading into next year. And we're going to start with a coach who has done pretty well, but I don't know if you'd recognize the last name just yet, but you will. Our first coach this evening, returning for her third season. Her team is also going to be hosting the 2016 Southland Conference Tournament in November right here in this building. Please welcome the newly married volleyball coach, Jenny Jones-Chapman, everybody.
Well, that was quite the introduction. You know, I had a mentor once tell me that people make places, and the older I've gotten and the longer I've been in coaching, that could not be more true. And when I left Missouri State to take the job here at UCA last year, the number one reason I came here was because of Dr. Teague. And everything that he said UCA was, everyone that I met during my interview, and how they responded to me and this program has been incredible. Everything has come true of what they said would be UCA, and it's been an incredible ride this first year. And speaking of getting to coach some amazing student athletes, I have two seniors that were a part of our team last year, Amy South and Heather Schnars, and you want to talk about people that embody what it means to be a UCA Bear and a UCA proud part of this program and proud part of this university. And I could not be more thrilled to get the opportunity to coach these guys again this spring as we start our beach volleyball program. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank my staff, Jenna Ray Jester and Associate Head Coach Matt Husky, if you guys would stand. These guys allow me to just coach and just develop relationships and bonds with my players, and they do all the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I cannot be more grateful for the most incredible staff on this campus. Our support staff with Steve, with Jamie, with Fodio is just remarkable. They keep us in check, they keep us on task, they keep us on point, and we just can't say thank you enough. So thank you guys for all you do, and Bear Claws up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up is a coach who already has 2 games under his belt in this young season, including the always popular win over our neighbors to the south, Little Rock. Can't have too many of those in the course of a year. Please welcome women's soccer coach Jeremy Bishop, everybody.
Jenny's kind of tall. Thank a couple people before I get started. Associate head coach Derek Nichols and assistant coach Audrey Atkinson. Thank you guys. Yeah, they deserve it. A couple others. I want to thank our strength coaches, athletic training, Aaron Smith, and academic advising with Jamie Ashmore. They are a big part of what we're doing with our team, and we thank you for all that you do for our athletes and for our program. Start off talking a little bit about last year. Had a really good season. Got ourselves back in the conference tournament. Put ourselves in the 5th place seed for the tournament. All of the games that we played against the teams that were ahead of us were 1-goal games, overtime in 3 of those. So felt like we were really close, and actually in the tournament lost out in a shootout to the team that lost in a shootout in the final. So really close, getting to where we want to be. We're really looking forward to this season of building on that. Ones I have up here on stage are our seniors for this year. These are actually our first recruiting class. When Coach Nichols and I got here, actually, this is our 5th season, but we didn't have a chance to recruit the first class. So 4th year of them being here, and they were our first recruiting class. And so they have been with us as we've built the program into what it is right now, which is something that we're really proud of and something that isn't quite reached where we want to be yet, but we're getting really close. And they've been a big part of that. 2 out of 3 years in the conference tournament, and hopefully adding a 3rd one this year. But I'll introduce them. Shelly Nadine, Kelsey Johnson, and then Allie Maroney is actually a 3rd year, but she's going to graduate this year, so she's a little ahead of schedule. And then Shelby Wilson and Allie Coleman. Those are our seniors this year. Like was mentioned, we've already started this year. We went and played an SEC team on opening weekend last Friday. Got the lead early, but they got us in the end. Really competitive game. Good measuring stick, I think, for where we've been to where we are now. And then, like we also was mentioned, got UALR on Sunday, that was a lot of fun. Was also the 2nd largest crowd at the Bill Stevens Complex in soccer history. And so we're hoping that by the end of the season, that will be like the 8th and 9th biggest crowd. So hope to see you out. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get on to our next group of coaches, please welcome back to the stage Dr. Brad Teague, everybody.
All right. This is the first of our 3 major student athlete awards of the evening. Just to set the stage for you, so each coach of their sport can nominate who they feel fits this category. And this first category is Freshman of the Year. So each coach nominates a freshman from their team, and then all of our coaches and all of our staff vote on who they felt would be Freshman of the Year. So we'll start with our ladies. And I see them gathering now. So maybe the men could be getting ready. Freshman men, how about that? I see a few. All right, we'll start from volleyball in alphabetical order. Samantha Anderson. From soccer, Camille Bassett. Track and field, Victoria Campfield. From tennis, Marley Van Heerden. From cross country, Sarah Shaw. And from golf, Emma Svensson. And our female freshman of the year for the 2015-16 season, from soccer, Camille Bassett. Daryl was just telling her that the plaque actually says male freshman of the year. That we'll get that fixed to female. Don't worry, guys. Yours says male, so we'll be good. All right, to the men. First, from track and field in alphabetical order, Brock Collins. From baseball, Cody Davenport. From soccer, Dalton Knutson. From golf, Louis Obiols. And from cross country, Marcus Schweikert. And our male freshman of the year for 2015-16 is from men's golf, Louis Obiols.
Let's give it up one more time for all of our freshmen of the year, not only the winners, but those who were finalists as well. Our next coach we're going to hear from tonight led his team to its 5th straight Southland Conference tournament and 3rd straight 30-win season last spring. They're also going to host the 2017 Southland Conference softball tournament next spring, just behind us at Ferris Field. Please welcome everybody, Coach David Kewen. There you are.
All right. You never get enough opportunities to say thank you. So first, I got to thank my wife, Sharon. As most of y'all know her, she's an integral part of my life and our program for the things she does. President Courtway, and your dedication, leadership, and service to this university, I can't thank you enough. Dr. Teague, I'll say it right here, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Okay, I left my alma mater, my dream job, to come here to follow that man, and there's not a greater person to work for. And I can say that because I've been coaching for 25 years, and I was in the military for 4 years. So I've had some good bosses and some bad ones. So I can tell you. I'd like to thank Daryl and Natalie, Bill, Auntie, our Director of Transportation. If you don't know him, you're missing out. He's amazing. Our athletic training staff, especially Aaron, Felicia, and Melissa, who keep me in line. Josh Goff, Charlie Skinner, Kai, who makes all these amazing videos that you're seeing, the people that are behind the scenes like that. Dennis Strom, Jacob and his staff, who's mowing the grass, weed eating, keeping these athletic facilities inside and outside amazing. You just do not know what those guys do, some of you. Josh Hewitt, if you don't know, football's equipment manager is like my equipment manager, my field guy. He can sew, he can fix AstroTurf, he is amazing. Josh, Jamie Ashmore, Carmen, my staff, Coach Parsons, who is the funniest and most sarcastic associate head coach in America. Shane Lamb, Taylor Kewen, my daughter, Brandy Danley, Haley Parker, my players. These are seniors here, and these ladies deserve a medal because they've put up with me for 4 years, and most of them were committed here 2 or 3 years prior, except Randy and Kayla. They held out till they found a great school like UCA. Because they got a lot of scholarship offers, and we were looking late in April, and I'm like, why didn't you get committed? They said, I never found the right place. And Kayla came here in February of her senior year and got on the phone with Randy and said, this is where we need to be. So these ladies deserve a medal putting up with me. Thanks to the donors, the sponsors, Megan running this event. I know this is a lot of work, and as they said, we've had 2 straight 35-win seasons, 4 out of the last 5 years, 35 wins. That's a lot, and that's hard to do at this level. We've got a very young team. We have 15 returners and 11 new players. We're very excited about hosting the tournament. And it's all about these ladies. We've got Bailey Reynolds from Greenbrier, Arkansas, a senior right here. Wave your hand, Bailey. All right. Randy Wallace, who is from Madera, California. Brianna Wisenhunt, who is from Crandall, Texas. Tyler Dodson, who's from Welch, Oklahoma. Hannah Sturton, who is from Owasso, Oklahoma. And Kayla Gomnes from Lemoore, California. So thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, next up is a coach I know many of you have been waiting to hear from tonight, a UCA Sports Hall of Famer who, this is in the script, this is like a Ron Burgundy moment. I'm only reading this because it's in the script, who may or may not have been here when the school opened in 1907. Let's hear from head track and cross country coach Richard Martin, everybody. Give it up for him.
Good evening, everyone. Just had a senior moment. The men's and women cross country team, we had a great year. The men's finished higher than they ever finished before. They finished in 4th place. The women finished in 6th. We'll move on forward to indoors. In the indoor championship, we had Eric Moore, a young man from California. We was talking back and forth, and I asked him, I said, what part of California are you from? And he told me, I said, I thought you were from Ontario, California. So we discussed that, but he's from Ontario. He might tell you something different after this, but right now he's from Ontario, California. So he plays Indoors, he won the indoor high jump championship. He jumped 7.2 and a half. He went ahead and placed in the indoor national championship. He was the first track person to make it to the indoor and outdoor national championship since we moved up to Division I in 2006. He was the first one. So hopefully he has 2 more years left, and hopefully he can make it his last 2 years back to the indoor and outdoor national championship and improve his position. Indoors he finished 13th, and outdoors he finished 14th. So normally your first year that you get there, you're kind of nervous and don't know what it's all about. So now he knows what to look forward to for the next year. We also had 12-plus school records last year. We had 20-plus all-conference performers. We added 20 new people this year to our roster, and we're looking forward to a great indoor and outdoor and cross-country. Our first cross-country meet, we're hosting a cross-country meet here out at DAVENPORT on September the 10th. So if any of you want to come out and cheer us on, we'll be out there at DAVENPORT on September the 10th. And we're looking forward to putting on our first cross-country meet here. We're supposed to host the cross-country championship in 2019. That's when we're supposed to host the cross-country championship here in Conway. I would like to thank all my assistant coaches. They back there in the back. Would you all please stand up? They got all these kind of different names back there. I know KP, and I'm probably being nice, but she has at least 26 different alphabets in her name. She had 26 different letters in her name. So I think we ought to have a contest of who can pronounce her name and donate the money to the Purple Circle. That would be a good way to a fundraiser for the track team. Also, as I get ready to take my seat, also the cross-country guys, don't worry about anything. We finished second this year, but look like I'm going to have to take back over the tutoring program. I did make it 26 on my ACT, and look like I'm going to have to take that back over so we can get that award back. And for Darryl, and I only took it one time, and I didn't take it 3 times. I made it 26. One last thing, I'm finna take my seat. Now, somebody asked me to do this, so I hope I'm not getting in trouble with Brad by overdoing my stay. But one last thing, these 3 little boys were walking down, coming from school. They was coming from. Take my word for it. Is David Strickland here? It's nothing about no frog, Dave. Three little guys were coming home from school, and as they was coming home from school, they started talking about who daddy was the best. So one little boy said, "Well, my daddy scrambled up words, put it on paper, and they make a song out of it. They paid him $50. Other little boy said, "No, my dad scrambled up words, put it on paper, made a poem out of it. They gave him $100. Last little boy said, "Oh, my daddy got y'all beat." He said, "My daddy scrambled up words, put it on paper, called it a sermon, and it takes 6 people to take up all that money." Thank you.
That's the equivalent of dropping the mic, I guess, from Coach Martin. Thank you, Coach. If you could draw your attention or put your attention up on our screen up here, we're going to be showing you some very special people, companies, businesses, sponsors. And that is someone or several people that we want to recognize in the audience, and they're going to scroll through. Please give a round of applause to all of our sponsors who make events like this happen, who give back to this university and make moments like this for these student athletes and coaches up here happen. Now, as you take a look at those sponsors that we want to say thank you to so much, also we're going to bring back up to the stage a UCA alumni who played a little bit before we got started tonight. He's also going to be playing in the UCA alumni concert a little bit later this fall. Matthew Huff, everybody, please welcome him back. He is so dedicated to this university. He is one call away for anything that guys like Steve East need, and we can't thank you enough, Matthew. So while we serve plates of dinner tonight, we're going to hear from Matthew. We'll be back in about 5 to 7 minutes and continue on. So once again, thank you, Matthew, and thank you to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
One, two. There we are. Before I pick up this guitar, if I could, thanks for the spotlight. If I could direct everybody's attention to the stage real quick, and if I could get Dr. Teague to come up here and join me, please. A little special presentation that I wasn't supposed to do before I got here, but it's a little impromptu, but I need you to join me first. All right. This guy's been very gracious to me and including me over the last few years to come back and be a part of this university and watch it grow. And I'll be honest with you right now, I've done a lot of national anthems, but I'm more nervous about this than I was anything. So I hear we're starting a new tradition, and I won't tell you guys who came up with this. Told me to keep that non-disclosure, but tomorrow's your birthday, right? Yes, it is. That's what I hear. So we're all going to sing you happy birthday right now. I'm going to start it, and then I need some help out here. Here we go now. 1, 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. All right. Happy birthday, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to play a song I wrote about my dad. Work hard all his life he did, busting his back for his 2 kids. And Daddy never was a lazy kind. Well, he was heavy-handed and hard on us, but he meant well, he did it with love. And he was bound and determined to make us tough. Well, I run into people all the time. They tell me your daddy boy's one of a kind. But to me, well, he was my old ball coach on that undefeated team. We went 13-0, was one hell of a season. And I was 8 years old, living a little man's dream. And he's my deer stand partner every November. Sitting in the woods, I can still remember him telling me, boy, you gotta sit still. Most he's just a hard-working man, but to me, I'm thankful to call him my dad. He's lived a simple life, a simple man with simple ways. Never gave a damn about political things. He'd say, worry about yourself, boy, and you'll be alright. He didn't always approve of everything I was in, from school club to school trip, spending nights with friends. But he made darn sure I'd get there on time. Well, I run into people all the time. They tell me your daddy, boy's one of a kind. But to me, he was my football coach on that undefeated team. We were 13-0, one hell of a season. And I was 8 years old, living a little man's dream. And he's my deer stand partner every November. Sitting in the woods, I can still remember him telling me, boy, you gotta sit still. Most he's just a hard-working man, but to me, I'm thankful to call him my dad. I know I'll never measure up to be half the man, Daddy never asked me to be more than the man I am. 'Cause you were my old ball coach on that undefeated team. We went 13-0, one hell of a season. And I was 8 years old and you're MVP. You're my deer stand partner every November. Sitting in the woods, I can still remember you telling me, boy, you gotta sit still. The most he's just a hard-working man, but to me, Dad, well, thank you for being my dad. Thank you. A little bit of crown sitting alone at this old park, just another night in a nobody knows me town. A little bit of crown, reminiscing all the things I'm living, but missing all the things I'm missing gets me down. A little bit of crown helps me get through the night sometimes when I can't seem to figure things out. Little bit of, maybe that's just what I need to help me forget your memory. 'Cause ooh, baby, there will always be this part of me that can't get over what you meant to me, baby. 'Cause you were my world, and I can still see the look in your eyes the day you told me your goodbyes, baby. So tonight I'm gonna drown in a little bit of crown. A little bit of crown, one more shot for me, might just set me free from this memory. A little bit of crown, seeing you holding on to him with what once was I used to be. A Little bit of crown might let me make love tonight to she. Let her wake up next to me. Little bit of crown, maybe that's just what I need to help me forget your memory. 'Cause ooh, baby, there will always be this part of me that can't get over what you meant to me, baby. 'Cause you were my world, and I can still see the look in your eyes the day you told me your goodbyes, baby. So tonight I'm gonna drown in a little bit of I can't get you out of my head, can't break it, can't shake it, baby. And as good as she feels tonight, I can only lie here and fake it. 'Cause ooh, baby, there will always be this part of me that can't get over what you meant to me, baby. 'Cause you were my world, and I can still see the look in your eyes the day you told me your goodbyes, baby. So tonight I'm gonna drown in a little bit of cry. Thank you. We do right is made up. We both know now that ain't enough. Gonna beg you to stay, gotta ask you what's wrong. Any reason running after something already gone. Got you leaving friends, do what we do best. I guess everybody's got the way of moving on. Girl, rest your head one more time in my bed. Love me like you love me when you love me and you didn't have to try. Let's lay down tonight and kiss the mama goodbye. Baby, who we are just ain't worth. Maybe we can leave with something out of all this hurt. Gonna beg you to stay, gotta ask you what's wrong. Any reason running after something already gone. Got you leaving dress, do what we do best. I guess everybody's got their way of moving on. Girl, rest your head one more time in my bed. Love me like you love me when you love me. You didn't have to try. Let's lay down tonight and kiss the mama goodbye. Let's kiss the mama goodbye. Gonna beg you to stay, gotta ask you what's wrong. Ain't no reason running after something already gone. Off your leaving dress, do what we do best. like it's everybody's got the way of moving on. Girl, rest your head one more time in my bed. Love me like you love me. Love me and you didn't have to try. Let's lay down tonight and kiss tomorrow goodbye. Ooh, kiss tomorrow goodbye. Thank you. What you got going on tonight, baby? I was thinking about taking a drive, maybe picking you up, taking you down on number 9. And I don't really care what we do, girl, just as long as I'm with you, girl. Yeah, I know a couple little lights, we can park this truck, make one I spot and roll. Let me show you a little something, baby, whoa. Small town kids just going crazy. Kick off your shoes, put your feet on the dashboard, let down your head like you on the dance floor. And baby, you can dance in my seat tonight. We can feel the bass bumping on a dirt road, feel the breeze blowing through the window. And baby, there's plenty going down in this little town. Mid-July when things start heating up, staying cool, sipping something in our cups. Yeah, we all feeling pretty good in the sunshine. But yeah, maybe, baby, float the spring river, stop on every gravel bar, hit the lake, getting on a sandbar. Doesn't really matter what we get into, as long as whatever includes me with you. Whoa, let me show you a little something, baby. Whoa. Small town kids just going crazy. Kick off your shoes, put your feet on the dashboard, let down your head like you on the dance floor. And baby, you can dance in my seat tonight. We can feel the bass bumping on a dirt road, feel the breeze blowing through the window. And baby, there's plenty going down in this little town. Kick off your shoes, put your feet on the dashboard, let down your head like you on the dance floor. And baby, you can dance in my seat tonight. Feel the bass bumping on a dirt road, feel the breeze blowing through the window. Baby, there's plenty going down in this little town. Ooh, little town. Thank y'all very much. It's been a pleasure to get to perform for you guys. And look forward to seeing you guys October 28th.
Once again, October 28th, everybody. That is the alumni concert. Matthew Huff, Barrett Baber are going to be a part of that. Chris Allen, amongst some other names. So make sure you put that in your calendar today to attend our UCA alumni concert. Real quick, want to say thank you again to our sponsors, including our presenting sponsor tonight, the UCA Bookstore. If you haven't gone to the UCA bookstore, make sure you do so sometime this season. They have so many great things in there, other than books, of course. And actually, let's take a moment, direct your attention to the screen, and let's take a look at what the UCA bookstore has to offer.
UCA Gifts and Gear, visit the official bookstore of the University of Central Arkansas. Located on campus in the Student Center, the UCA bookstore is your one-stop shop for all things UCA. We make it easy to buy or rent all your textbooks. Simply visit ucabookstore.com and choose your classes. The UCA bookstore offers the best gift ideas for all Bear fans. Hoodies, tees, sweats, and fleece. All this and much, much more. Only at the UCA bookstore.
Once again, a big thank you to the UCA bookstore, our presenting sponsor tonight. Everybody, could not do it without them. Now we're going to introduce you to some more coaches this evening. From what I've been told about this next coach, she is a pretty darn good golfer. In fact, if you are ever looking for a fourth or someone to join your scramble team, remember this name, folks. And she can coach as well. This past year, she led her team to a runner-up finish in the Southland Conference. Please give it up for women's golf coach Natasha Vincent, everybody.
Hello, I'll get closer here. I want to start out by saying thank you to my administration. I have a lot of questions, and they're very helpful. And also to others in the administration, like Felicia, for instance. She helps me out a lot. I want to say thank you to her. And to my assistant coach, grad assistant, Lauren Judson. She's with me from Georgia. She means a lot to me for a lot of different reasons, and I'm really blessed to have her with me here. Thanks, Lauren. I'm going to start by introducing my team. So these are all returners. We have one more addition this year. She's a freshman. But besides that, this is the team. So I'll start out with sophomores. I have Emma Swenson from Sweden. Yeah. We have Sally Friedstrom, also from Sweden. We have Cindy O from California. We have a junior, Fernanda Lira from Mexico. And we have two seniors, Brenda Gonzalez from Mexico and Morgan Best from Texas. So that makes up our women's golf team. Bear Nation is about celebrating their accomplishments, and I want to start out just by talking a little bit about their accomplishments in the classroom. We're so close to winning that GPA award again this year, but award or no award, we're doing really good in the classroom. We've had, three of the ladies standing up here came out with a 4-point from last semester, and everyone else on stage is above a 3-point. So big congratulations to that. So being able to juggle that in golf is a lot, but they've been doing really well on the golf course. We had an awesome season. We brought home some wins, both as a team and as an individual. So if you really look at how we played throughout the year, there were a lot of ups, and I can't say that we're not going to do anything but that this coming season. For awards, based on our play, we had a Southland Conference Freshman of the Year. That was Emma Swenson. Big congratulations. Following in the footsteps of Fernanda Lira, who won that award last year. So heavy shoulders for the new freshman. I think she can bring that home for us this year. We also had two all-conference teams, first teams. That was Fernanda Lira and Emma Swenson. Very good. And an honorable mention with Brenda Gonzalez, who's also up for Student Athlete of the Year. She does awesome on the course and in the classroom. Our first event is Texas Tech. That'll be September 12th and 13th. It's a big event. It's a good event. It's a great start for us, so be sure to keep up with that. We have two events near Central Arkansas. We have one in Hot Springs and one in Maumelle, both fall and spring events. So come out and support us. I know it's not a sport that maybe you think you can come out and support, but you can, and we really like it when you do. So if you need to know how to do that, get in touch with me, and we'd love to see you out there. Thank you.
All right, next up to the stage tonight. If you ever get the chance to play golf with this next coach, a couple things can happen. One thing, you could be very impressed by his game. It also inadvertently might make you a little upset about your game because he's just that good. Now, he coached 2 all SLC players just last year alone, including the league's Freshman of the Year. Please welcome to the stage, along with his team, men's golf coach Steve Runge.
Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I just want to start off by thanking all the donors for being here tonight and supporting UCA athletics. Without you, we can't do what we need to do every day. So, and especially I want to thank Bunny Adcock as a donor. He's been a longtime friend and supporter of the golf team. He even coached here way back in the day, but he's still very involved, and we're very lucky to have him. So thank you, Bunny. I'd also like to just thank the staff I get to work with every day. Daryl, Brad Teague, Natalie. I know I'm missing somebody. Felicia. Just, I'm probably not the best administrative guy, but Felicia kind of really helps me out a lot, so I want to thank her a lot. I'm seeing Alex Fodio here tonight. I hope he's here. I just want to thank him as well. He is, I don't know if you know this, but he's TPI certified, which is a golf-specific exercise program, and he works out with these guys 3 days a week, and I just see the benefit with these guys all the time, and I just want to thank Alex for all the great work he does in the gym. Just going to talk a little bit about last year. It was my second year here. And my first year, we had Pep Ingles, who was one of the best players in the country and played fantastic for us. But, as a team, we kind of struggled a little bit. And then this past year, I can't say enough about the guys. We just improved so much, and it's all credit to them. Last year we had 1 win at Missouri State, and then we had 4 runner-ups. We had 1 third and 1 fourth place finish. So we were in contention a lot, and we gained great experience, and we have the same guys this year as last year. So this season should be really good for us. I'm just going to introduce the guys. Senior Ben Taylor from Mount Pleasant, Texas. Senior Ryan Shuttleworth from Workington, England. Senior Brad Lamb from Melbourne, Arkansas. Junior Christopher Finbo from Holt, Denmark. Junior Rodrigo Rivas from Santiago, Chile. Rod had a great season at the end of the year. He really came on and played really good at the end of the year. So he's going to have a great year this year too, I think. And Junior Lewis Tomlinson from Wayland, Garden City, England. Lewis was new to our team this year, new to playing in tournaments this year. He was here last year as well, but he won the Southland Conference Newcomer of the Year, and he was also named first team all-conference. So this played outstanding for us. And we have sophomore Alvaro Carroll from Barcelona, Spain. Sophomore Louis George from Cheshire, England. Sophomore Mason Keller from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Louis Obiols from Dusseldorf, Germany. Louis had a fantastic year as well for us. He had 2 individual wins, and he was named third team all-conference. Thank you.
While they're exiting the stage, I just want to make a point to acknowledge a name you've heard a lot up here tonight. We're going to bring it back to the stage for the graduating ring ceremony, but enough couldn't be said earlier about the work that Dr. Brad Teague has done for this university. So many coaches up here thanking him tonight and so genuinely appreciating him bringing them to Conway. So with that, we bring him back to the stage, everybody, for this ceremony. Please welcome Dr. Brad Teague.
All right, that's enough of that. No more birthdays, no more compliments. How about that? All right, we have something extremely important now to do. And so I know everybody wants to hear what we have to say. And guess what? We're going to get you out of here on time. So just bear with us. Here we go. Applause. Yeah, that's great. This is our senior ring ceremony. And I have to tell you about this. When we moved from Division II to Division I, our Letterman's group said, we want to do something for your graduating student athletes, and they decided to provide a graduation ring for our student athletes. Well, the first year we had 40 who graduated. Everything was fine. They had enough money to cover it. Well, this year we had 80 who graduated, which is a great problem to have, but we couldn't afford it. So we had to help the Letterman's group out a lot on the rings, but we're proud to do it. And we have 80 who have graduated. Obviously, if you graduate, you're probably not still on campus, so we only have 7 who are with us tonight, but we'd love to read their names right now. And our academic staff's up, and Daryl Walsh. You've seen Daryl all night, right? Daryl, turn around. There we go, Daryl Walsh. You know, Richard Martin tells me that he and Daryl have been here the longest, which means that Daryl gets to say a joke later in the evening. So be working on that, Daryl. From Cheer and Dance, Bree Brunson. Also from Cheer and Dance, Randy Guillory. From men's soccer, Matt Taphorn. Oh. Go ahead. From softball, Jesse Taylor. From women's track and cross country, Jordan James Burgess. From baseball, Justin McCarty. And from baseball, Brandon Montalvo. Seven of the 80 who graduated last year with us tonight. Thank you, guys. We're going to go off script for just a moment, and I'm going to call Steve East to the stage. We have a special recognition for 2 of our student athletes. Steve East.
Need to raise this up a little bit. Good evening. I'm honored to be able to take a few minutes to introduce these 2 young ladies to you. 2 young ladies who have overcome amazing obstacles in the past 6 months to be back here with us tonight. We're extremely excited that they're here with us. First is Bree Brunson on the left, your left, my right. Bree is a senior from Hot Springs, a member of the UCA dance team. She was involved in a serious car accident back in March, one that put her in the hospital for nearly 2 months and in a medically induced coma for 28 days. Didn't go home until July 15th. The early prognosis was not good, but she battled through it all, amazing her doctors every day, and she's standing on this stage with us tonight. She's still going through rehab and physical therapy. She did have to put her business degree on hold in the spring. She was graduating in May, but she's determined to graduate from the University of Central Arkansas sooner rather than later. And after seeing how far she's come so far, that will not be a problem. If you didn't know the name Bree Brunson before tonight, and you had ever seen our dance team, if I described her as the tiny little dancer with the big 100-watt smile, you would have known exactly who I was talking about. When the accident first happened, my wife asked me which one it was, which one of the dancers, and I described her that way. She went, "Oh no, I know exactly who it is." So I think I speak for all of us up here tonight that we're extremely happy and blessed to see Bree on this stage with us tonight.
Hi everyone. I can't really talk loud because I had a breathing tube in my throat, but I just want to thank everyone say thank you with all my heart to everyone who donated to help me pay my hospital bills. And I'm very glad that I was a member of the UCA Honeybear dance team, and Megan Dyson was my coach. She is beyond great. And me and my best friend Chris King, there he is. We suffered a lot from this wreck. It paralyzed our left side, and a few weeks ago I couldn't even walk. I was just in a wheelchair, but now I'm walking, not 100% or greatly, but I'm on my feet now, and I just thank God for bringing me this far. He's really showed a lot of grace and mercy to me, but that's all I'm going to say. But thank y'all so much.
Kelsey Johnson is a senior soccer player from Spring, Texas. Who brought her own cheering section tonight, apparently. She was also involved in a car accident back at the end of January that, on the surface at least, was not as bad an accident as Bree's. She escaped with only what they thought was a headache, but that persisted, and Aaron Smith, one of our athletic trainers, convinced her to go to the emergency room. Turns out it was more than a headache. It was a brain tumor, a considerable brain tumor on top of that. The doctors felt confident at the time that it was benign, so Kelsey finished the spring semester. Again, this was the end of January. She finished the spring semester and also worked out with her soccer team during that time. Brain surgery was scheduled on May 11th. The tumor, the size of 2 golf balls, was removed, and thank goodness it was benign. Later that month, she began an intensive treatment of radiation and chemotherapy that will actually go through the full year. And this is the most amazing part to me anyway. After the surgery, she was in the hospital for a day and a half. Total, a day and a half. If I had a serious surgery like that, you would have to eject me from the hospital. I can't imagine a day and a half. At the time of the diagnosis, Kelsey said she was planning on coming back and playing her senior season this fall with the soccer team. Didn't seem real likely to some people at the time, but here she is. She was cleared for team activities by her Houston doctor on August 2nd. On August 3rd, she had her final radiation treatment, 30th radiation treatment. The next day, August 4th, she packed up her car and drove back to Conway. 2 days later, August 6th, she joined her teammates for their preseason fitness test. Now, there's a lot of student athletes in this room who have come back from summer, Christmas, whatever, and failed their preseason fitness test. Some more than once. I won't mention any names, but it has happened. She passed hers. First try, by the way. So for all you student athletes out there, you have zero excuses from now on for not passing your fitness test. Kelsey has not been cleared by one of her doctors in Houston yet for contact. You don't think of soccer as a contact sport, but there is contact, so she has not been able to play in one of our 2 games yet. But if she is cleared to play again this fall, you know her family, and her teammates, that's going to be a joyous day. If she isn't cleared, she's already impressed the heck out of all of us and been an amazing inspiration for us. Folks, if you would do me a favor tonight, when we're done here, if you would make your way down and find these 2 young ladies, shake their hand, give them a hug, high five them, bear claws up, whatever your preference is, because they most certainly deserve it. Thank you.
I just want to thank everybody that has donated to my GoFundMe or given me money, just in person. I want to thank everybody that's prayed for me. And honestly, I just want to thank Jeremy Bishop because he came with me to see me in the hospital, right whenever I found out about surgery, or whenever I found out about my brain tumor. Both of my coaches have been fantastic, both Jeremy and Derek. And I just want to thank you guys. Please stand up. Everybody needs to thank you guys, too. I also want to thank Dr. Brad Teague and Natalie Schock. Thank you so much for just everything you've done for me. I want to thank my mom and dad that are not here, and also my boyfriend Amir, because he has listened to me cry every single night, basically. I also want to thank my teammates. Thank you during the summer. You guys have answered my calls, even called me, FaceTimed me. You guys have been there for me, and I just want you guys to know that I really, really, really love you. God did not do this to me. He did this for me. And I want everybody to know that. I am a better person because of what I've gone through. In the past 3.5 months almost, I have had new views of how to live my life. I always say YOLO. You only live once, okay? You get one chance at this life. And I just want everybody to realize that, because life can be taken away from you so fast. And I live in the moment now. I'm living in this moment right now as I'm on stage speaking, and it's just amazing. I'm so thankful that God gave me this opportunity to become a better person. And my attitude has been what has really just gotten me through this experience. I have been positive from day one. I knew whenever I found out that I had a brain tumor, I was like, okay, you're going to play your senior season. It's going to happen. Literally, it's going to happen. And I thought about that from the time that I was able to think again, and I cried whenever I had my first dream. I cried whenever I finally could put thoughts together. When I was laying in the hospital bed and I couldn't talk, I would be I'd say and I would take so much thought process just to say little things. And just honestly, I've had a lot of bad moments. It's okay to be negative about little things, but then you need to be positive afterwards. It's the afterthoughts that will get you through. I just want to thank everybody again for listening to me, and thank you to everybody again that has donated to my fund, and thank you so much. Every single prayer has been heard from God. Thank you so much.
Strong women, 2 strong women. That was impressive. Well, what I have to say really doesn't matter as much. That's what matters, right? But back to the celebration, okay? So This is our 6th annual Bear Nation celebration. I think it's a good night, it's a fun night, and we recognize our student athletes, and they get to dress up, be on stage, and our fans and donors get to see them dress up and be on stage. And I think it works well together. You know, this event is great because of our athletic staff, and Megan Dyson is in charge of the event, but she calls on, obviously, everyone else on staff to be involved. So if all of our athletic staff would stand, please. Please stand. Stand and take a photo. There you go. Thank you, guys. You didn't see Kai Caddy, who's our video marketer. He's in the truck producing all the videos for us today. So thank you, Kai, as well. You know, this staff is everyday innovative, everyday accountable. They provide excellence, obviously. You see that tonight, and they first and foremost promote student-athlete success and what it's all about. We thanked our sponsors tonight, but I again want to say thanks to the UCA Bookstore for being our presenting sponsor. Sarah, thank you, and Jimmy. And Chris Kane, we're proud to have you on board. We're looking forward to listening to you each weekend this year. So thank you for being here tonight as well. Verco Manufacturing brought us the chairs you sit tonight, and appreciate that. We needed more chairs, so that was very helpful. Airmark Catering for our food. Jim Kozad does the lighting and the sound. Thank you, Jim. It looks great. And then again, Matthew Huff, who had to step away, but UCA grad and always willing to step in and help, and really appreciate him. President Courtway, Melissa Courtway, thank you for being here. Our vice presidents who are here tonight, thank you. Always working hard to make this a great place to live, to work, and learn. Bunny Adcock, you heard from him or saw him earlier, but he's on the Board of Trustees, and he is here tonight, and we appreciate your attendance tonight as well. So I'll be brief. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this program is in fine shape, and it's only because we have a committed athletic staff, and we have a strong group of coaches who recruit young men and women of character and academic accomplishment. And these young men and women go out and are fine ambassadors for this institution. Now, at UCA, we provide the total educational experience for these student athletes. It's campus life, it's social skills, life lessons, but then ultimately a meaningful college degree. With all of that, these student athletes excel in their sport with all of the time demands and then bring great recognition to this institution. So I quickly want to remind you about the 3 principles that we follow at Central Arkansas Athletics. Those 3 principles are student-athlete experience, the student-athlete experience. Obviously, that's why we're here for our students. It has to be great. Second is the fan and donor experience. We're in the customer service business. We better provide great service to our customers. And then lastly, the program image. We want our name, our image, our logos, our colors to elicit a great and positive feeling from anyone who hears about Central Arkansas Athletics. So as an administrative staff, our job is to serve and support our coaches, our student athletes, to provide all the tools necessary for them to be successful. And if we can do that and continue to do that, we will continue to be successful in our sports. And most importantly, we will continue to be number 1 in all of the academic measures of APR, GPA, and graduation rates. And that's truly what it's all about. Okay, that's it. On to our next award. This is the Player of the Year award. And Steve East is lining them up. If you are a Player of the Year candidate, please make your way to the stage. We'll do the women's sports first. Excellent. All right, from soccer, you've heard her name several times tonight, Camille Bassett. Cross country, Bridget Carruthers. Track and field, Falani Petties. She couldn't be with us tonight. From basketball, Maggie Prophet. Volleyball, Heather Schnars. From tennis, Amiru Shimaguchi. Remember, tennis had a 3.67 overall GPA. That's incredible. From golf, Emma Svensson. And from softball, Jesse Taylor. The Female Player of the Year for 2015-16. She'll be playing beach volleyball next year. From volleyball, Heather Schnars. All right, to the men. From soccer, Wes Carson. Basketball, Jordan Howard. Cross country, Julian Giandre. Track and field, Eric Moore. From golf, Lewis Tomlinson. And he cannot be with us tonight, but from football, Jonathan Woodard. So the Men's Player of the Year for 2015-16 is playing professional football, so he cannot be here, Jonathan Woodard.
How about our Player of the Year finalists and Players of the Year, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of hard work and dedication. All right, coming up next, Brad was just mentioning recruiting, how well the coaches recruit. Our next coach doesn't just recruit on a local level, not on a regional level, not even really on the United States level. He is an international recruiting coach. His current roster has players from 5 different countries and a GA from another country. His Sugar Bears reached the semifinals of the Southland Tournament last spring and won a school record 14 overall matches. Please welcome women's tennis coach Casey Wharton.
Hi. This is my team that is returning. So a lot of you coaches have pretty big rosters. Tennis and golf, we don't so much. So we just asked everybody to come that came back. And one of them gave me a call before she came and said, "Coach, can I wear high heels?" And of course, I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. Just stand on the other side of the line from me." But anyways, I'd heard that we'd won the GPA award, but I wasn't sure. It was just kind of a crazy surprise. Somebody told me a long time ago that good teams can make an average coach look very good, and I joke around with them that I buy the bananas and I drive the bus, but the truth is that they do all the work. They've been here and they work really, really hard, and a lot of times I get credit for what they do in the classroom and on the court. They're great students, they're hard workers, but more importantly, they're just wonderful young ladies. And if you ever get the chance, I encourage you to see them. They're just fun to be around. But before I talk about them and how awesome they are, I want to talk about some other people that made it possible for me to go and drag them here. I'd start with my wife. She's not here, and that is our loss. She got called into work tonight, and any coach that's married knows that it's demanding if you're trying to get better, and so she's not only encouraging but she's just understanding, and she's super pretty too. So anyway, I can't not talk about her. And then I'd like to talk about my boss. I've had a lot of jobs over the years and a lot of people, and fewer have been as encouraging or supportive as he is. And I consider myself very, very lucky to work for you, Dr. T. And then the people in the athletic department, like Felicia, Daryl, my goodness, man, you are worth your weight in gold. That man, I never get the low-hanging fruit. I always go for the crazy kids that are hiding behind rocks and under bushes, because I'm just not good at fighting other coaches for players. I'd rather just look a lot harder and then find the ones that just somehow got overlooked. And anyways, it usually takes a lot of work to get him here. So I really appreciate him. Scott, they don't speak a lot of English when they come here, and that's never a problem for him. He just is like, man, we'll make it work. So I really appreciate that. And as coaches, a lot of times we look at the value of recruiting players, but I also see the value in recruiting coaches. I am a bit selfish that she was in Boston and coaching up there, but I made some very recruiting calls, I guess you'd call them. It was like, you got to come back, it's like, we're going to do some really big things. And so Stephanie, who is now Stephanie Howard, was a former player. She coached here when I first came. And, she just has a heart for tennis and the team. And just, I know that when I'm not there, things are going to go in the same direction that they would if I were. And I think that for me is just a peace of mind that I don't have to be everywhere at once. So thank you. Thank you for coming back. Anyways, I'd like to go down the list and introduce the team. This is Amira Shimaguchi from Japan. This is Marley Van Heerden. She is from South Africa. This is Junan Chang. She is from mainland China. We have Pornpawi Premthong. She is from Thailand. Radha Manatuwiwat from Thailand. And then we also have Chili Ma from Taiwan. And they're just extraordinary. Let's go. They won't brag on themselves, so I will. Last year, we won, I think, more matches than we had in the history of our program. And we did it with freshmen. They didn't speak English, and they didn't know each other, and we just squished them until they became family. And they did it while they're making great grades. So it's just extraordinary to me that I get the acknowledgement for all the hard work they do. But I'll do it. I'll be great by association. And I just want to talk about some of the things that they did. One, we beat some teams that we'd never beaten before. We beat the team that won the Southland Conference last year, SFA. And we did it here at home, and then they actually hosted the tournament, and we beat them first round as well. It was just crazy. So qualifying for the conference tournament was exciting, but then winning first round against a team that had hosted was just really exciting. The team that we lost to in the following round, we lost 3-4 against a team that I felt like we could beat. And I know everybody on the team wanted to play them again the moment it was over, because we almost were there. 2 of our players were ranked in the top 100 in all of Division I singles, and which is just an extraordinary feat that all of the teams out there have 8 players on their team. And out of all of those players, 2 of ours were ranked, in the top 114. And that would be Marley and Rudda. We had some that's big. That's big. We had a couple of all. Hello? Okay, cool. Am I being pulled off stage? Sorry. Chilima and Rada were all conference doubles. Chunan, as a freshman, was playing at the top of the lineup, and she was winning. Amiru, who just showed up January and didn't know anyone or anything, goes 18-3 as a freshman. And it's just extraordinary. And so one of my favorite quotes is, be prepared to give a defense for the hope that is within you. People ask me all the time, how in the world did you get them here? And I'm like, good question. It's that, when you see an average guy married to a supermodel, he probably had to ask more than once. And so it's the truth. And so I did. I convinced Dr. Teague to let me get on a plane or a boat and whatever needed to be done to get to Taiwan or Thailand or South Africa and tell them how great this place is. And what's crazy is now that they're here, and all of these teams that are really good know that they're here, are trying to talk their coaches and friends into making them train, and they want to be here. And I love UCA, and I love that they love UCA. And what's crazy is, as good as we were last year, we're going to be better this year and the next year. We just added this young lady named, we call her Gammy, but her name is Pornpui. And she was the former #1 junior in all of Thailand, in an entire country, and she came here. So it's just extraordinary what these young ladies are doing, and what I believe they're going to continue to be doing. So I'm really excited that you guys are here, and if you ever get a chance, just go talk to them. They don't know a stranger. So I'd love to give a hand for them, and then we'll get out of your hair.
The envy of so many coaches in terms of recruiting trips, everybody. Casey Warden. All right, next up is a former UCA Bear who returned 3 years ago, steadily building this program back to what it was in his playing days. A guy who's put the student back in student athlete in this program. His team sports a 3.2 GPA last spring. Please welcome to the stage men's basketball coach Russ Pennell.
It's a privilege to be here with you this evening. It's always interesting when you get up here, and I really don't know how much you really care about what shoe sizes my guys wear and stuff like that. What I want to do, though, is just briefly tell you a little bit about what I think is the most important thing about UCA. And it is our student athletes. And it is the 2 young ladies that had the unfortunate situations occur, but how the family of UCA rallied around them. I have the greatest job in the world, and I would think any other coach would say this, because we get to do something that we love to do. See, what I used to really love to do was run up and down this court and play. And if I could ever get in a time machine, I would go back and play. I tell my players that all the time, because your youth gets away from us all too quickly, and many of you out there know what I'm talking about. And this is a time of our life. One of the mottos we're using this year, because we've all gone through things this year, we all know that we've been limited in certain areas with our programs, and we've maybe not have some of the things that our opponents have and others have. But I've told our team this year, our motto is going to be attitude of gratitude. Because you have an opportunity to do something, athletes, that in 10 years you're going to look back and it's going to be the greatest time of your life. Don't take that for granted. Coaches, we get to get up every day and do this. And I've never met a coach. My dad coached for 45 years. I've been around this game since I can even remember a sound on this planet. And the one thing I've never ever heard a coach say is, well, I got to do something. There's a lot of people unhappy in their lives. And our jobs are hard. We got to win. We got to represent the school in a first-class manner, and our kids aren't doing well. It affects us. But you know what? Every coach here at UCA, and I know every one of them, not great, some of them better than others. I've not met one coach that doesn't put his heart and soul into this program each and every day. And as a former Bear, that fires me up. That's exciting. See, folks, here's what I think. I think UCA sells itself short. I think this place could be incredible, and I think it's heading that way. We've been bragging on Dr. Teague. I don't think he's worth a dang, but, everyone else does. Now, Brad's awesome. I've been in 3 major conferences. The Southeastern Conference, the Big 12, and the Pac-12. I've had some good ADs. I've worked for some ADs that are at some schools right now that are the biggest and best in the country. And this gentleman far and away leads better than anyone I've ever been around. And I'm thankful that you're still here. That's what I'm thankful for. Let me finish by saying this. Our schedule's very tough this year. It's very competitive. We're going to play this little team up in Madison, Wisconsin, called the Badgers. That'll be our opener. Then we're going to go play Oklahoma State. Then we're going to play Butler. Then we're going to play Michigan. Then we're going to play Arizona State. Then we're going to play UALR. Then we're going to play twice Arkansas State, Western Michigan, and then we're playing a tournament at West Point. And then I'm going to retire at Christmas. But you know what? My guys are getting better. I'm excited about the summer, and I love them to death. I love them. They're my guys. I love it when Derek Brooks has an attitude, which I'm going to fix Monday, Derek. I love it when Matthew Kamba pouts, which I'm going to fix Monday, Matthew. But they all have their quirks, but they're wonderful kids. And they've done something incredible here. They've gotten UCA off of the academic probation that hung around our neck for a couple years. Let me finish by saying this. Instead of bringing them up here so you can see them, I would ask you to come and watch us play. And if you don't like what you see, don't come back. But I think you're going to like them. And I think they're going to be a lot of fun. And if I can get them to play any defense, we're going to win a lot this year.
Coach Peddle, everybody. All right, we're going to take a moment to honor someone right now. We heard President Courtway mention this gentleman early on in his speech. He is listed in your program tonight is Mr. Bill Stevens. And there's a short bio in there, but we also would like if you could please turn your attention to the screen up here for a short video and a tribute to Mr. Stevens.
The late Bill Stevens, who along with his brother Ken and daughter Sonia could easily be referred to as the first family of UCA athletics. All 3 are members of the UCA Sports Hall of Fame. However, the legacy of Bill Stevens goes much deeper than athletics. In fact, this institution goes by the name University of Central Arkansas in large part due to the work of Bill Stevens, a state legislator for 22 years, who helped gain university status for the State College of Arkansas in January 1975. But Bill Stevens had already played a large role at the school prior to that in the field of athletics. He was a 4-year letterman in track and field as an all-conference hurdler, a 3-year letter winner in football, and a 1-year letterman in basketball. Stevens, a Conway native, then entered the world of coaching and administration on the high school level. In 1967, he returned to his alma mater as defensive coordinator under Coach Raymond Bright. He became the head track and field coach in 1972, leading the Bears to 3 Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference titles and coaching 12 All-Americans, several of whom are also in the UCA Sports Hall of Fame. Stevens took over as co-athletic director in 1981 and as athletic director in 1987. He retired in 1999, having been associated with UCA across 5 decades, the longest tenure of any UCA athletics employee. In honor of his dedication and career service, the new UCA track and soccer field were named the Bill Stevens Track and Soccer Complex in 2010. Please join us tonight in recognizing and honoring a very important part of the history of UCA athletics as a student athlete, a coach, and an administrator. Thank you to a UCA legend, Coach Bill Stevens.
Sonia, would you come to the stage and accept the plaque? And in essence of time, if you'll cut your 10-minute speech down. Okay, thank you.
Very short. I would just like to say that my dad thoroughly enjoyed his years at UCA, and we are proud of him for the things he was able to accomplish while he was here. Our family greatly appreciates y'all honoring him tonight. Thank you very much.
All right, if Matt Whiting would come to the stage, we'll do our Purple Circle Member of the Year. Matt is our new Assistant Athletic Director for Development. And each year we recognize someone who gives of their time, talents, and treasure. Past recipients include Paul and Mary Cantrell. If you're here, by the way, stand up when I call your name. Paul and Mary Cantrell, Bo and Melanie Connor, Don and Debbie Weaver, Carolyn Edson, Bunny and Carol Adcock, Eddie Glover, and the Nabholz Corporation. Anybody here tonight, please stand. This year's recipients are consummate benefactors. They receive requests daily for donations and sponsorships, but when it's UCA, they consider it every time. Jimmy and Sarah Batchelor are major supporters of UCA athletics, and Sarah is a graduate of UCA. Please welcome Jimmy and Sarah to the stage.
All right, we're going to continue our coaches program tonight. Man, I loved watching this squad a few years ago when they got into the NCAA playoffs. It was so much fun. It's his 7th year now at UCA, and he has started something special. He's won more than 400 games in his career. The winningest Division I baseball team in the entire state last year, by the way. That includes the one up in Northwest Arkansas. Please welcome to the stage head coach of the baseball team, Alan Gum, everybody.
Good evening. First of all, just a lot of thanks. I want to start off also with, I think Coach Kuhn had said this earlier. This is starting my 7th year, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Very thankful. I left a job that I thought was my dream job with Southern Arkansas University. Played there, assistant coach there, and I came up here for one reason, and that was also at the beginning because of Dr. Brad Teague and what he's shown me and the opportunity he's given me. And he's been right there in the good times, but also at the bad times too, and just extremely loyal. And I thank him very, very much for the opportunity and the blessing I get to coach every single day at the University of Central Arkansas. And I'm thankful for the people also, the fans and everybody else that's grafted me into this program and this community and this university, because at one time I used to bleed blue. I bleed purple now. Okay, I still got a little bit in there because I graduated from there, and at one time I did. I loved coming up here and beating UCA. I mean, that's fun. Okay. And that was really enjoyable. But I'm so thankful it's starting the 7th year and just been a tremendous blessing, and the opportunity has been tremendous. I also like to thank some other people. As far as I'd be remiss about Darryl Walsh, who's not only every time I send him stuff every single day, and he helps our program so much. One day I was in his office and I asked him, I said, "How many emails you send out a day?" He goes, "More than you read in a year." And I said, "He's probably right about that." So anyway, but as far as Daryl, he's just a good friend also. And then Jamie Ashmore, she is a pillar in our program, our academic advisor. And as far as that, when we bring recruits on, we make sure she's on campus because she just adds so much. But here's the thing. We've had tremendous academic success. We had over a 3-point GPA last year, and the travel and the schedule that we have, she is a huge part of that. She keeps them on track, and I'm just extremely thankful for her. Also, Steve East, for all the things that he does for us, and Josh Goff, always putting things together for us. I asked him to do something for us, and I looked at my email, which I did read that one, and he had sent something to us, and he had sent it at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I knew he spent long hours doing that, and I appreciate that, Josh. Also, Matt Whiting, he's been really helping our program out. We're getting some things going, and he's been right there for us, and I appreciate it all. I'm probably missing some people, there's no question about that, but I'm very thankful, and I want to do that. Now, getting to that, I want to thank, no doubt, our coaching staff, associate head coach Nick Harlan, Trent Klein, assistant coach, new coach on staff, John Mark Abbey. These guys work tirelessly to bring players in, to get them here. They care about our players. They want our players to succeed on the field and off the field, and they do. They have a heart for them, and I'm just so thankful for them. And then I have to make sure I do thank my wife, and she's pretty also, okay? So, but if any of y'all know me for sure, you're going to know my wife, and you're going to understand this. She is the rock. She is right there for me. And she's the one that reads all the emails and relays them to me. But she's just tremendous, and I couldn't do it without her. I couldn't do this job without her. There's no question about that. And I'm so thankful for her. Now, with that being said, this night's about the players and everything like that. And like I said, I'm so thankful to get to coach these guys. I brought up our seniors and Justin McCarty. Justin's not a senior, but Justin has already graduated, and as Coach Campbell would say, he's got that degree already in his hip pocket right there. And I can't do it like him, but you'll see in just a minute, I'm sure. But Justin's already, he's a junior, but he's already working on his master's. And then Jacob Murray, he comes from us from Silsbee, Texas. And he came to us, and he's been a tremendous part. These guys are leaders. These guys have done a tremendous job already with our team and leading them. And doing a tremendous job. And I'm excited about this year's team for a lot of reasons. But the one thing that always I know I get excited is when I know I see good leadership. And these guys are good leaders for sure. And Jacob came to us. I have a good friend from Puerto Rico. His name's Carlos Rivera. And I'll probably do, but Carlos, this is how he operates. He calls me, "Hey, Gumma, listen, got a guy. His name's Jacob Murray. He's tough. You need him. Here's his number. Call him, sign him, get him there." Click. I said, all right. So I call him, and on Carlos, I knew one thing. We had a loyal guy, and we had a tough, hard-nosed guy. If he played for Carlos, he could play for anybody. Tremendous job. Pitcher for us. Comes in the back end a lot and pitches some big innings for us. Also, Brooks Ballesteri. Brooks, he is a coach on the field for us. His dad's a lifetime coach at Benton, Arkansas. Brooks comes from us from Benton. And if you come out and watch us play, you're going to see a guy that leads on the field and he coaches on the field. And he was a big reason we made a great push at the end of the season last year. And then Brandon Hagler from Petaluma, California. Okay. And one thing about Brandon, one thing for sure, and I always look at this in people. After every game, my 8-year-old Callaway loves Brandon. And after every game we would play, I'd look up and they're playing catch or he's doing it. He's spending time with my son, and he spends time with a lot of little kids. And I just think it's a big heart. He's an extremely loyal human being. These guys are just tremendous, and I'm so thankful for them and their leadership already. Justin, again, on Justin McCarty. Last year at times, Justin, he was the one that I guess in a sense at times really kept me from going, just keeping me sane, I guess. And he has that kind of infectious personality, and he's able to look at people when things are going good and bad and helping them out for that. But these guys you need to come out and watch these guys. These are tremendous leaders, just great, loyal guys, great students, no question about that. And it's a privilege and honor to get to coach these guys. Also, this year, as far as we got a lot of new players this year, okay? We have 11 freshmen this year, 10 of them from the great state of Arkansas, okay? So we're getting these guys, and I'm excited about them, just good players, good students. They've been here already in second summer, but we got 11 freshmen, 10 of them from Arkansas, one of them's from Missouri. And then we do have some new junior college guys, very outstanding young men already. It's been a joy to be around them, very mature, and they get out on the field. But we have we're pretty diverse when we go into the junior college players. We've got guys from Oklahoma, from Texas, from Mexico, from Arizona. And so we got guys that's pretty diverse. You're going to see a lot of new faces out there, but I promise you're going to see a good squad out there. And already the attitude and everything's been really good. And I go back to this as far as our schedule again. One thing people can't say about us and can't say about me is we don't dodge anybody. We play a schedule, and we play a good one. We're going to play a lot of top 20 teams. This year we have Dallas Baptist, which is a top 20 team, has been for the last 3 or 4 years. They're coming to our place for a 3-game series. And also Oklahoma State's coming to our place, and they were in Omaha last year. They're coming to our place. We're going back there, and, of course, we'll play Vanderbilt. The Southland League's tough enough as it is, but then also we'll go out there and we're going to put it on line against some of the best competition and the best teams in the country. And I've been very proud of that the last 4 years with the coaching staff that we've had and the players that we've had. We've averaged 33 wins in the last 4 years, and that's playing strength of schedule, one of the toughest schedules there is out there, and we're going to do that again, whether it's Vanderbilt and Oklahoma State and, like I said, Dallas Baptist. And we're not just playing those guys on weekdays. We're going to play them on the weekend also. But we got a lot of home games this year. I hope to see everybody out there. And our crowds have been outstanding, been great. And I appreciate that for sure. The donors and the sponsors, I thank you so much. I look out. When I first got here, I looked up on the scoreboard on the walls. There wasn't any sponsorships or anything. And now they're all over the place. And our crowds have been great. And I appreciate you. And I thank you for that. I always ask one thing. You pray for these guys. Pray for their safety. And just pray these guys each and every day. They go through a lot of stuff. Like I said, our GPA was over 3, and if you've seen our travel schedule and what they have to do, it's really amazing what they do. And if you ever need to hire anybody after these guys graduate, you guys got a business, I would come knocking on these guys' doors because I can promise you'll have a winner. Thank you all very much.
In honor of our next coach, I almost jumped up on the stage, but I didn't do so because I didn't want to start off my first week here at UCA injured, and I didn't want to split a seam. I'm going to leave that to him. He's entering his 5th season as the head coach of the UCA men's soccer team. And this coach has assembled a team that not only gets it done on the pitch, but also in the classroom. Please welcome back to the stage men's soccer coach Ross Duncan, everybody.
Thank you. I'll make it short because I think Coach Gum used a bit of my time there. Want to introduce a couple of my guys, captains, Wes Carson, Jordan Bates. Wes, thank you. Give him a round of applause. Wes was the leading scorer in our conference, which is the Missouri Valley Conference. We're the only team that's not in the Southland. So men's soccer, very difficult conference, and Wes led the conference in scoring with 9 goals on the year and big goals for us. So happy to have him back leading the front line. And then Jordan Bates anchoring the back line. He's been a 3-year starter. Got 2 shutouts out of our first 3 preseason games, and we're happy to have him as well. Want to introduce my new staff. If you guys can stand up. Mitch McKay, Lee Quadio, Matt Taphorn. All 3 new guys, and we got Nick Doyle, who's actually coaching tonight locally, coaching some future Bears. So we got a full staff and excited to have them. We start out at UMKC on Friday. We worked incredibly hard in the off season to get prepared for this season. We're really excited. Last thing I want to do is thank the guys in the back. We won the Team Academic Award. Absolutely nothing to do with me other than bringing good student athletes into the program like Dr. Teague talks about. So thank you guys. Fantastic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have a special presentation. We have 2 more presentations. This is the Coach of the Year presentation. This was voted on by the administration staff. Categories of academics, athletics, recruiting, rules compliance, administrative, student-athlete well-being, PR, and community service. We expect the Coach of the Year to excel in all of those categories, and this one certainly did. We certainly acknowledge that our head coaches have great staffs that they have assembled as well here at Central Arkansas, and it's a large part of why they are so excellent in what they do. Past recipients include David Kewen, Steve McRoberts, Matt Daniel, Clint Conk, and ladies and gentlemen, your 2015-16 Coach of the Year, Sandra Rushing, everybody. The first ever NCAA Division I basketball tournament appearance, Southland Conference tourney champs, and a number 1 seed in that, a 2.94 cumulative GPA, and a 965 out of 1,000 APR. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Rushing. And Brad T.
Wow, that was a surprise for sure. Thank you very much. I want to thank my staff for that award because they are the backbone to the program, and just want to welcome it. Come on up, ladies. I want to welcome everyone here and say it's great to see everybody, and thank you for all your support, and it's really great to see the student athletes back on campus. I'm waiting everybody gets up here. Last year was an exceptional year for women's basketball, and I can't tell you how proud I am of that team and what they accomplished. We made a lot of memories, and memories that's going to last for a lifetime, but that's in the past, and we talk about this all the time with this team. You know, you can't live in the past. We're looking forward. You know, we're looking to this year, and I am so excited about this upcoming season with the players that we have in, and we have a core coming back, and we signed 6 new players, and we've signed 3 freshmen, 2 junior college players, and a transfer from Southern Mississippi that's going to join us in December. I really believe that it's going to be a fun team to watch. Now, it's a little bit different makeup. We have a little bit more size, but these players have been here since June and July, really working hard, preparing for this year because we want to repeat. But as you know, winning the first one is hard. Trying to win the second one is always harder. And we preach that every day. You cannot get comfortable and relax. We're on a mission, and these players know what we expect. And I am so excited. And they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be fun to watch as the year goes along. We have to learn how to play together, hopefully by conference time. But when you sign that many new players and the core coming back, it takes a little time. But I'm so proud of last year's team, proud of this team. I'm proud of where the program is going, and I'm ready to get started. I wish we could start official practice tomorrow, but we can't officially start practice till October the 2nd. Now, I know they want to start right now with me, but October 2nd, it's on a Sunday. We'll start at 2 p.m. But I want to I need to introduce my staff. They're the backbone, like I said, to this program, and they keep things afloat for me because I'm everywhere. And you win with people, and I've been very fortunate to have a great staff that support me and that are very loyal, and loyalty is very important to me. But I want to introduce Greg Long. He was with me last year. I've hired 3 new assistant coaches, and they came in, hit the ground running, and I'm so thankful that they are here, and I'm so excited. I mean, they've got me working out every day, so, I mean, we're doing a team thing. I guess it's a coaching bonding, I guess you can say. But we got Jordan Greenleaf, who's my assistant, Andrew Morales, assistant, and also our graduate assistant, Chelsea Rhodes, and she graduated from Delta State. I recruited her, but never had the opportunity to coach her, but I have her own staff, so I'm excited about that. I also want to take a minute to thank Dr. Teague and all the administration for all their help and support, and everybody here for your support to UCA athletics. And, if there's anything women's basketball could ever do for you, please let us know. But I do appreciate your support. And as the players walk off the stage, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. They begged me to speak tonight, so I'm going to let them speak and introduce themselves. Thank y'all so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm Maggie Prophet, and I'm a senior.
I'm Raquel Logan, which y'all probably know me as Rock, and I'm a senior. Angel Williams, and I'm a junior.
I'm Taylor Strickland, and I'm a senior.
Brianna Mullins, and I'm a senior.
Tierney Palin, I'm a sophomore.
Taylor Bodway, I'm a junior.
I'm Sarah Ledbetter, and I'm a junior.
I'm Bria Griffin, I'm a junior.
My name is Olivia McWilliams. I go by O. I'm a junior.
I'm Kiara Jordan, I'm a junior.
All right, our last of the three Student Athlete Awards, which is our most important award of the year. It's the Student Athlete of the Year. So if our female candidates could make their way forward. From track and field, Jasmine Campbell. That's what you get for alphabetical order. From golf, Brenda Gonzalez. Tennis, Marley Van Heerden. Basketball, Brianna Mullins. Volleyball, Megan Nash. Soccer, Shelley Naudine. Softball, Jesse Taylor. By the way, Jesse was last year's Student Athlete of the Year. Cross country, Abigail Topham. Again, our most important award because it combines academics and athletics excellence. This year's recipient is from volleyball, Megan Nash. To the men, from soccer, Brandon Wild. Golf, Lewis Tomlinson. Track and field, Grant Williams. Baseball, Brandon Montalvo. Al Mader from cross country could not be with us. From basketball, Jordan Howard. And thanks for coming back. From football, Kyle Stouffer. So our men's Student Athlete of the Year for 2015-16 is, from basketball, Jordan Howard.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to introduce our final coach this evening that's going to come up and speak to you and bring some of his players as well. He is the epitome of what a football coach is. We were watching practice today, and during one portion of the practice where most coaches, head coaches, might be down watching the quarterbacks throw it around, he was down watching the big man bust each other in the end zone with the offensive and defensive line and making sure they're ready for the trenches this season. He led the Bears to a second-place finish tie in the SLC last season, and they open 2016 next Thursday against Houston Baptist right there on the stripes. And I know all of you are going to be out to support them. Please welcome, everybody, head coach Steve Campbell.
Thank you. As our players are coming up, I'd like to thank all of you for your support. You make what we do possible, so thank you all. Would also like to thank our administration. President Courtway, thank you for your tremendous leadership. Brad, Dr. Teague, everybody has talked about, Brad tonight. Coach Gum said he was at his dream job before he came here. I legitimately was also at my dream job. I was at a place that for 10 consecutive years, we had finished in the top 10 in the nation. We had produced a lot of All-Americans, had won 3 state championships, had won a national championship. In 10 years, we had played in 7 state championship games. I lived 2 hours from home, 2 hours from mom and daddy. My wife was 2 hours from mom and daddy. But when this job came open, had the chance to come up and interview and meet President Courtway and also visit with Brad. I'd known Brad for a lot of years. When this opportunity came up to work under their great leadership, it was just something that couldn't pass up. So we have tremendous leadership, an outstanding athletic director. I've worked at Auburn, I've worked at Mississippi State, worked at Middle Tennessee State, and worked at Nicholls State. That makes 5 Division I schools, and we have got the best administration, bar none, of anywhere I've ever been. So let's give those guys a great big hand. A lot of folks have been talking about last year's team. Well, we're 1 week away. We open up a week from tomorrow night, so I'm going to talk about this year's team. We're very, very excited about this upcoming season. And one of the reasons we're so excited are these young men you see up here. I'm going to introduce them and tell you a little bit about them. Jatavius Wilson. Jatavius is from Bastrop, Louisiana. He's a preseason all-conference player. Jatavius, as a freshman, was a freshman All-American in punt return, kick return. This past year, he was 10th in the league in receptions and 1st in the league in all-purpose yardage. Let's clap it up for Jatavius Wilson. Brandon Porter is our starting free safety. Brandon is from New Orleans, Louisiana. He transferred into us this past year from San Diego State. Look forward to having a great year for Brandon. Jaquez McMillan from South Haven, Mississippi, wide receiver. Tyler Williams from Norcross, Georgia, starting corner. Starting tight end from Thomas, Oklahoma, Scotty Matiaha. Cornerback from Houston, Texas, Prince Ane. Running back from Moss Point, Mississippi, Antoine Wales. Running back from Arlington, Texas, Kelton Warren. Preseason all-conference superback tight end, also the son of a lifetime coach from West Memphis, Arkansas, Cody Douch. And as Coach Gunn pointed out, Cody's already got his degree in his hip pocket, so congratulations, Cody. All right, from Andrews, South Carolina, James Pope, defensive end. From McAllen, Texas, linebacker Garrett Sharp. From Galena, Texas, tight end Zach Gogler. From Bentonville, Arkansas, also a preseason all-conference player, Desmond Smith. All right, Desmond has a chance this year to break every receiving record in the book. Last year, he led the Southland Conference in total receptions and total yards receiving. So it's great having him back. He's a preseason first-team all-conference pick. He's only about 50-something receptions from breaking Mike Norvell's all-time receiving record. So he's got a lot of good things to look forward to this year, and we're excited about having him back. Defensive tackle from Garland, Texas, Dawson Hadnot. Defensive tackle, and also a preseason all-conference pick, a guy that has got a chance to have an outstanding year from Memphis, Tennessee, Terrence Partee. All right, and defensive tackle, another guy that, Jonathan Woodard, and deservedly so, Jonathan got our male athlete of the year, but, Jonathan being such a dominant player, a lot of times you guys get overshadowed a little bit with all of the publicity that you get from being an NFL guy and everything like that, but a guy who had an outstanding year last year as a junior, and a guy that has, All-American written all over him. All he's got to do is go out and do it, is a senior from Duncanville, Texas, Jordan Tolliver. So all of those guys, defensive linemen, Partee, Tolliver, Hadnot, all three of those guys I expect to have outstanding years this year. So you can see why we're very, very excited about this upcoming season. These are the guys that provide our leadership, that set the tempo, that set the attitude, that set the work ethic. These guys, back in the day when summer hit, you went home and you got a summer job and you worked out on your own, you lifted and did all that, and then you reported back and you took your running test and you got ready for preseason camp. You don't do that anymore. I'm going to say the last 10 years, you stay up. You don't go home. There's a deal, #no days off. These guys don't have any days off. They grind. And they've been here all summer since the end of May, running and lifting and training. We've been in fall camp for the last 3 weeks, and these guys have really, really been grinding and working hard. And this group of seniors has really set a tone and set a tempo for the other guys to follow, and very, very proud of these guys, and look forward to getting started next Thursday night against Houston Baptist. Now, the schedule sets up great for us this year. Whereas last year, we played our first home game. It was getting really close to Halloween. This year, we open up at home, and then week 2 we're at home, and then week 3 we're at home, and then week 4 we have to travel all the way down to Jonesboro, which is an hour and 45 minutes away. So we're very excited about the way that the schedule sets up. We got Houston Baptist next Thursday, the 1st, and then we play Samford on the 9th here at home, and then Northwest Louisiana on the 16th before traveling down to Arkansas State. So the first 4 games of the year are all here really, really close. Would love to see all of y'all out there, and can't wait to see y'all out there and help us set a great tempo and get off to a tremendous start this year. We're excited about the upcoming year. Feel like we've got a chance to, this group, there's no ceiling for. We can be as good as we want to be, and the beauty of that is these guys have really been busting their behinds since they have attacked each phase that we went into. In January, they attacked the off-season program. Then you transition from there into your early morning workouts, your 6 a.m.s. They attack those. Then you transition into spring training. Had 15 great days of spring training. Then you go right into summer school. And I make a shout out to Coach Fayetteville for doing a tremendous job of helping train these guys during summer. These guys attacked summer school and the summer weight training. Then you go straight into two-a-days. These guys attack two-a-days. Now school has started. We're into game week. And they're really hitting that with the right demeanor. So we're very excited about this season. The sky's the limit, and look forward to seeing all of y'all next Thursday night out at Estes Stadium on the Stripes. Thank you so much.
All right, so we didn't make our time. So a couple of quick observations, some instructions, and then a raffle winner of the Yeti cooler. So the first observation is I said Daryl was going to say a joke by the end of the night. We don't have time for that, but luckily Coach Gum told a joke that Daryl told him, so that worked out pretty well about the email. Good job, Daryl. It was funny. I thought it was funny. You probably all think I have termination papers out for any coach who didn't say something nice about me. I did not, and I'm sorry that happened tonight. But if anybody deserves credit, it's my wife, Gina, for anything anybody says about me. Gina, thank you. Yes, she is pretty too. Thank you. All right, instructions. If you think you may have won a silent auction item, you'll need to go back to the stage and check out with Carol Good. Carol's on the stage. Okay, yes. That's the first instruction. What was my second instruction? No, that's the third one. All the winners. Yes, all the winners of the awards need to come to the stage for a photo after. Student athlete winners, please come to the stage for a photo. Lastly, this is it. We're going to do the raffle. Daryl will draw a number from the bucket which Megan holds. The number. I'll read the last 3 digits. Does everybody have a raffle ticket? Good. Last 4 digits. 8975. Last 4. 8975. Who wants the Yeti cooler, but you have to have the raffle ticket? Oh, you must be present to win. Anybody? Okay, next. No. Yeah. She's taller. 9024. 9024. Row! Lucky Leo. Of course he won. Of course. Okay, it was a fun night. I'm sorry it went longer than we wanted it to, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to see our student athletes and coaches. Drive safely. Have a great night.